everyone, it's Max and welcome to a new video. Today I am doing books I want to reread. Now some of these I have plans to reread this week. Some of these I don't have any plans on when I want to reread. I just know I want to get to them soon. So the first book I'm going to be talking about is Shadow and Bone and kind of the entire Grishaverse. One, I want to read these before the TV show come out, and two, before the sequel to King of Scars comes out. At least then King of Scars. I want to reread that because honestly, I don't remember a lot of what happens. But the show is coming out soon. They've done some filming. I don't know if they're done filming. I don't know how far they've gotten, but I know it's in the works. And I would like to reread the whole series before it comes out because I know Shadow and Bone and Six of Crows are taking place almost simultaneously, which I don't really know how that's gonna work because Alina is part of their mythology in Six of Crows. So we'll see. And we meet characters in Six of Crows, or at least Cricket Kingdom, that are in Shadow and Bone. So I don't know how that's gonna work out, but that's how they're doing it, and I do want to read all the books before the show comes out. The next book is The Adventure Zone: Murder on the Rockport Limited. I read the first one, obviously, but 2 more volumes have come out, and I do want to read those, but I can't remember anything that happens in this volume, so I want to reread this one and then continue with the series. I have plans to read all of them in October, which I will talk about in my October TBR. The next book that I'm going to be talking about you will see in my next week's vlog, and that is A Torch Against the Night by Saba Tahir. I wanted to reread the whole series before the 4th one came out, but then I realized I remember most, if not all, of what happens in An Ember Against the Ashes, and almost nothing of the rest of the series, especially this one. So I thought, I might as well start with this one, and why not start it during the Buzzwordathon where the word is night? So I thought it was perfect, and I'm definitely gonna be picking this up this week. This is about a girl named Leia and a guy named Elias who kind of meet. He is a student at this war academy. She is a slave, and she is a slave slash spy, and they kind of work together to overthrow the Empire. I'm loving it. I'm so scared for the 4th one. I do want to read the 2nd and 3rd books before it comes out. The next one is Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. This I read 2 years ago when it was just a standalone, but it has come out that there is going to be a sequel. I don't know when, but I know there is going to be one, so I thought I might as well reread this before the sequel comes out. I hear also that it's helpful to read this before the Stormlight Archives, which I did, but I don't remember why. Like, I don't know why you should read this before that series, and so I think maybe rereading this will give me a better insight into why you should read this one before the Stormlight Archives. And this is about a world where magic is through colors, so the more colors you can see, the more powerful you are, or something like that. Honestly, I can't remember. I know there's a very snarky sword, and 2 sisters, and a god king. Another book that I want to reread, I don't have with me. Honestly, I cannot find it, and that is very not great, and that is Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson. I reread Way of Kings and Words of Radiance earlier this year and then put off Oathbringer until closer to the release date of Rhythm of War, which is coming up, and I do want to reread it because out of the 3 of them, I cannot remember what happens in Oathbringer the most, which is surprising since I read it the most recently. I mean, it was like 1 month, 1 month, 1 month, so it's not like that big of a difference, but it's still like I reread that the most recently, but looking back, I cannot remember anything that happened in it. So I do want to reread that before Rhythm of War comes out in November. The next book is My Lady Jane by the Lady Janies, and this is a retelling of Lady Jane Grey, the 9-Day Queen, after Henry VIII's son's death and before Bloody Mary becomes queen. I remember what happens in this and everything, but they are writing a trilogy of Marys. So this is My Lady Jane. They are going to do one about Mary, Queen of Scots, set in this same world with shapeshifters. So I thought before that one comes out, why not reread this one, which is my favorite of the Jane trilogy, before that, so that I can just kind of read them and be in that world and enjoy it all over again. The next book is my favorite book of all time, and that is The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. I kind of want to reread it to see if it lives up to what I remember. I read this my freshman year of college, and I just have a feeling it's not going to live up to what I remember it being. Back then, even though this was only 4 years ago, I had less expectations of books, especially with kind of queer baiting and like how women are treated. And this, I remember, women aren't that great, aren't treated that great, and there is definitely a relationship in here that should have been gay. And I remember kind of thinking that when reading it, but it didn't affect me as much. I never liked the main romance because it's not even that main. It kind of comes out of nowhere. So I know I'm gonna like it even less, but I wanna see if I love it as much as I did the first time. You can see I annotated, or I just tabbed it. I can't even, like, I don't think I highlighted or anything. There's just tabs with like quotes that I like, basically. There's one in here that broke me, but of course I don't remember which one it is. So this is like the only book that I've ever annotated outside of books for scripts. So I did not do that great of a job. The next one is one that I'm going to read next week, so keep an eye out for a vlog, and that is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I am participating in the Tolkien Along, hosted by Ashley from A Frolic Through Fiction and a lot of other people, and I am very excited. I read The Hobbit 2 years ago, and I have been wanting to continue on in this series, and I just watched the movies for the first time in March, so I thought this is the time. It's perfect. I'm going to be doing specific reading vlogs for each book where I read and watch the movies and review them all in one. So I'm gonna give myself 3 days for this. I found a website where it kind of outlines what movie fits with like what section of chapters. So for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, I'm going to read my section, watch a movie each day. So let's hope that works. I think it will. I'm really hoping that it goes well. I remember enjoying this, but I don't remember much of what actually happens. I've only seen the first movie. So I think this is gonna work out really well. The next book is a book that I don't want to reread, I just want to finish. And that is A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. I read this last year in December and then just kind of didn't continue once I went to LA. I just was like, this is just really hard to read. And I knew that if I put it down, it was gonna be really hard for me to pick back up. I am exactly halfway through, and it's just heartbreaking, and I'm just like so scared because I know that it's not really, I don't think gonna be a happy ending. It's a realistic ending, but it's not gonna maybe be happy. And I just want you to be happy. That's all I want, and I don't think he's going to be. And I'm just very scared. I enjoyed this immensely. The 400 pages that I have read are fantastic, but it's just very hard, and I just need to kind of work myself up to finishing it. Next book I want to reread is The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. I loved this when it first came out. I read it right when it came out and adored it, but I never continued on, and I don't know why. Like, I loved this. I was so excited for the sequel, but then I never picked it up, and that's crazy. I want to reread this and then continue on with the series for the rest of the year, and I know I'm going to love it. I know I'm going to love the whole series. I own the sequel. I almost picked up the 3rd one today, but I thought, no, might as well just wait, pick them up as I read them, just to make sure. But I loved this. This is about a girl who's a con woman in ancient Egypt and then accidentally conjures a jinn who takes her to this magical city. Then the other point of view is the prince of this magical city, and we kind of get the political intrigue from his side with more of the action and fantasy and magic from her side. And that's the essence of this, and I know it gets so much bigger and so much grander than that, but I just need to reread this and continue on because I know I'm going to love it. Next one is Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. I reread the first one earlier this year in either April or May. I can't remember which, but I loved it again, and so I thought I might as well reread Muse of Nightmares. Even though I didn't like Muse of Nightmares as much as Strange the Dreamer, I still did really enjoy it. So why not just reread this one as well? Because I read this when it first came out, and that was like 2.5 years after Strange the Dreamer came out. So I feel like I should reread this when Strange the Dreamer is still a lot fresher in my mind. Now it's been like 5 months and I haven't picked it up. It's That's kind of how it is, right? All right, and the last book I'm gonna talk about is the Odyssey by Homer. I also have the Iliad, which I might reread, but I did not like the Iliad as much as I loved the Odyssey. Now, the Odyssey is my favorite classic of all time. I absolutely adore it. I've read it 3 times, and I just wanna reread it again. Like, why not? 2 times was in an educational setting, 1 time was just for fun, and I think I need to reread it again for fun. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Nag me in the comments if you see that I'm falling behind on rereading these. Some of these I've got definitive plans on rereading in the near future, but some of these it's just, at some point, I want to read it again. So nag me, keep on top of me for it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon with another video. Bye.